Welcome back to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. And thanks for viewing, and it's going to be about your TNA news for this week. And first off was Kevin Nash was reportedly to be in the next movie with Nicolas Cage. But he's quoted by saying, "Don't know where the Ghost Rider story came from." That's the name of the movie. But it didn't come from me. I think I would remember filming it. What an asshole if I did, but forgot. Nash's name is listed on the official IMDb page for the following. For the film at the link. http://www.imdb.com/title/TT10711875. Impact Wrestling has released Orlando Jordan from his contract. As they've been reporting, since you haven't seen him lately on TV, the company has been focusing on trimming the roster down due to budget cuts. An edit came from Janice Carter several weeks ago as she wanted to see the talent roster cut to about 20 workers. The releases are not expected to happen in large clumps, but were expected to begin after last night's Destination X pay-per-view, which it did. And speaking of the pay-per-view, Christopher Daniels was shaken up following his match with AJ Styles last night. Sunday night at the TNA Destination X pay-per-view. Daniels was backstage at tonight's Impact tapings and is good to go. So it's nothing serious. Unfortunately for the fans of Generation Me, they requested their release last month and were granted it after the pay-per-view ended. Apparently, they had been told that they were going to lose at the pay-per-view anyways, so they asked for their request, and they didn't want to lose to Eric Young and his mystery partner. Well, they did anyways. The high-flying young tag team has decided to part ways with TNA Wrestling. Matt Jackson, who wrestled as Max Buck, as part of Generation Me tag team along with Jeremy Buck, tweeted the following on Monday afternoon. "Want you to hear it from us first. Yesterday we asked for our release. Special thanks to TNA and the fans for a wonderful experience." And Jackson added, "Great experience, but definitely time to move on to something new. So much to say, but I'm going to sit and let this all digest for a while." And he was caught partying with Mickey James earlier in the month. And have a pic as I'll show, as well as he was... Okay, this is from a comment from Orlando Jordan. Guess who Orlando Jordan was partying with this week? Or this past week? None other than TNA Knockout, Mickey James. And there's also another picture with a few more people there. Alright, and that should be about that. Okay. Okay, back to the report. The partying he was not fired for is also being reported that Orlando Jordan has been released from TNA as well, but still waiting for confirmation, which he already did. Orlando wasn't given a choice and was fired by TNA over the weekend. He was told it was due to budget cuts That's the reason Eric Young needed a new tag team partner at the Destination X pay-per-view, as well as tonight's TV taping for Impact. But that match was a dark match anyways. Generation Me wrestlers Nick and Matt Massey, aka Nick and Matt Jackson, were telling their now former TNA co-workers at June 27 and 28 Impact Wrestling tapings that they had already requested for their contractual release. The story that the Generation Me is putting out there is that they asked for the release on Sunday. They may have received their release on Sunday, but it's worth nothing that they actually did make the request last month. This should be the end of fan speculation that the duo wanted out because they were booked to lose to Eric Young and Shark Boy at the Destination X pay-per-view. Rather likely, going into the match, that it would be their blow-off with the company. For what it's worth, the brothers worked a dark match at Ring of Honor, Best in the World pay-per-view, back in June 26th. If nothing else, the timing of the duo working that show and then telling co-workers over the next 2 days that they had requested their TNA release is interesting. So, they possibly could be headed back to Ring of Honor. It would be interesting to see whether they return to Ring of Honor as the Young Bucks. Once they are contractually free from TNA and any no compete clause that may be in effect. Well, many of the TNA wrestlers go to Mexico, wrestle for them, and go to Japan. So I don't see why they can't still do it anyways. Impact Wrestling hits the road as announced. I believe I did it 2 weeks ago. They have announced 3 cities for their upcoming it's not TNA Impact, it's Impact Wrestling TV tapings at 3 destinations that I'm about to announce. Huntsville, Alabama, Knoxville, Tennessee, and Macon, Georgia for upcoming episodes of Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling will continue its celebration of TNA Bound for Glory, the biggest pay-per-view event of 2011, coming this October by bringing Impact out of its home in Universal Studios, Orlando on the road. Impact Wrestling features pop culture icon Hulk Hogan, Mr. Anderson, Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle, RVD, Beer Money, Inc., the Blueprint Matt Morgan, phenomenal AJ Styles, Mexican America, the lovely and lethal TNA Knockouts, the No Limits X Division, and much more. And I haven't seen any second tapings of the other wrestling that's in the Impact Zone that TNA is also sponsoring. Okay. And the dates are August the 25th, Von Braun Center Arena in Huntsville, Alabama. Tickets start as low as $20 and go on sale this Friday, July 15th. Available at all Ticketmaster locations or online at www.ticketmaster.com. Wednesday, September 21st, at the Knoxville Coliseum in Knoxville, Tennessee, with doors opening at 6 p.m. Tickets go as low as $15 and go on sale August 12th. Go to KnoxvilleTickets.com. Wednesday, October 26th, at the Macon Coliseum in Macon, Georgia, with doors opening at 6 p.m. Tickets start at $15 and go on sale September 16th at all Ticketmaster locations or online at Ticketmaster.com. And TNA does have a house show scheduled for Tyler, Texas. I believe it's later in this month in July, as well as Houston. But no update on why they canceled the show for here. A limited number of Impact Wrestling VIP packages will be available at each event. Impact VIP packages include front row seating and an exclusive pre-show backstage meet and greet with Impact Wrestling Superstars only. 20 VIP packages will be available at each event for only $99 per person. For more info, visit shoptna.com. Live report from tonight's Destination X pay-per-view by fans. Justin Towler sent this in along. Last night I had the pleasure of attending Impact Wrestling's Destination X Live, up close and personal. Here are a few live notes from the Impact Zone that I told you I would intend to have. First and foremost, I have been to 4 TNA pay-per-view events, and last night was by far my worst experience by standing in line. Usually they let us all in sometime between 6:30 and 7, but we didn't even get seated until 7:30, so close to start time. Waiting in line for some time between an hour more than the normal was just not pleasant on the feet, my friend. Number 2, the Impact Zone was absolutely completely jam-packed full. Not one more person could have fit in there. In my previous times going, there can always have an extra amount of people, but not tonight. Number 3, Vince Russo, D'Lo Brown, Scott D'Amore were all sitting on the production staff. Inside of the Impact Zone, side not seen. I usually see Russo standing around, but that's a first for D'Lo, and thought I did meet him at the TNA event back in 2009. Russo actually went and sat ringside, strange to me. He's also packed on a few pounds and has a pretty big gut now. First match with Kaz and Joe got the crowd pumped. The crowd was all for Kaz, but all for Joe too. During the match, certain people were switching who they wanted to win. We got "Let's go Kaz," "Joe's gonna kill you," and "Let's go Kaz, let's go Joe" chants. Number 5, Douglas and Mark Haskins was a great match. To him, Mark impressed him a lot. Sure, he slipped once or twice, but that's a little dude. That little dude impressed him a lot. Deal for TNA, we got "Who are you" chants, but then the crowd definitely warmed up to him. They even popped huge for his RKO. It was awesome to see the great respect between the two at the end with a handshake coming from Douglas. And in my view, it could be another member of the British Invasion. Number 6, amazing reaction for Eric Young and Shark Boy. Great to see them both back on TNA Wrestling. Crowd popped for Suicide and Curry Man, though they're not wrestling anymore. Nobody really cared for Red under the mask as Sangriento since they're dropping the character. He was just there and didn't say anything. Well, when Generation Me came out, they got a great pop, but I think the people forgot who they were facing. Because when Young and Shark Boy's music hit, we all went apeshit. Tons of "Let's go Eric" and "Let's go Shark Boy" chants. The match showed what all 4 wrestlers can do, which was amazing. Number 7, the TNA security was as normal, walking around, making sure people weren't texting if you're really taking a picture. Some actually asked to see your camera and to see that the pictures to make sure it's really a camera. Well, some cameras do video too. While they were setting up the Ultimate X, a stagehand who was on top of the ropes and climbing the X railing dropped the wrench, and he received the "You effed up" chant. Number 9, there's not much to report during the Ultimate X match itself. It was amazing. The spot with Shannon Moore was amazing, and he got a "Please don't die" chant. Did anyone else notice Robbie E's overselling of everything? Amazing Red is so underrated, and this match showed the awesomeness. Crowd popped, especially me from being from Detroit when Shelley won, and popped even more when Saban came out to congratulate him. Number 10 was Brian Kendrick versus Abyss. The match was like a great homecoming for an X Division. It was an okay match. Not great, not bad. It was cool to see Immortal and Bischoff come out and try to ruin things. but even cooler to see the X Division take action. Number 11, the RVD and Lynn match was weird. It started with both wrestlers wrestling as face, but the crowd eventually chose Lynn as a heel, and he started working heel. I personally think that the match could have been better. It was still awesome to know that it was reliving history. Number 12, well, there's the first time for everything. During the Fatal 4-Way for the TNA contract, we got Sign Them All and Everybody Chance. Obviously, the people liked what they saw. If they don't sign all four of them, they're making a huge mistake. Going into it, I personally thought that Jack Evans should have gotten the contract. But as the match went on, just didn't care anymore, as the reporter says. They all impressed the hell out of him. The finish was amazing, and after the match, we got an even bigger Sign Them All chant than before. Number 13 in the final, AJ Styles versus Daniels was a good match. It told a great story. You can just feel the chemistry. Personally feel that it was Daniels' time to win. But it's not like we're losing with AJ either. I was shocked to see AJ slip on the rope, but it happens. What are we going to do? The crowd was also into this match. It was so emotional even for the crowd. We all understood the respect they had for each other, and we all understood how much each other wanted to prove that they were the best. Great match. And a spoiler from the Impact taping tonight. Will you have a new world champion? Sting defeated Mr. Anderson at tonight's Impact Wrestling taping in Orlando, Florida, to reclaim the TNA World Heavyweight title. Such as I predicted. Sting lost the strap last month at Slammiversary 9. Following outside interference from Eric Bischoff, he invoked his rematch clause for this Thursday's episode of Impact Wrestling, which is being branded a Midsummer's Nightmare. The victory marks as Sting's 5th World Heavyweight Championship reign in TNA Wrestling and 15th overall. Okay, and now for the detailed Impact for this week. And Eric Young and a mystery partner defeated Robbie E. and his mystery partner. The reporter couldn't hear either guy's name. Eric Young pinned Robbie's partner. The match was so horrible, it was so hard to even watch. And your Impact taping started off. Immortal held a party for Mr. Anderson, who had on a nice camouflage tuxedo, by the way. It was a general ass-kissing all around until the lights went out. Sting appeared in the ring at a poker table and asked Eric Bischoff if he wanted to bet who walked out with the title tonight. Sting did his Joker laugh and pointed out that he had friends tonight that would make sure Immortal didn't screw him. 4 Doink the Clown lookalikes appeared in the Raptors as Sting flipped the table and got out of the ring. Match number 1. Bobby Roode defeated Samoa Joe and the Pope in the Bound for Glory Series match. Good action. Joe kept getting knocked out of the ring, and he almost won with the rear naked choke on Bobby Roode, but his shoulders were on the mat, and Hebner counted him down for the pin before Roode tapped out. Then he argued with Hebner and flipped off the crowd. Match number 2. Austin Aries defeated Shannon Moore. There were a couple of bad spots, but it was otherwise exciting match. Austin Aries has a lot of potential and does a great job in the ring. However, he does this move where he acts like a cat and scratches his opponent. Very weird. Aries hits Moore with a chain from the Book of Delegath to score the pinfall. Alex Shelley then came out to check on Moore and helped him out of the ring. So I guess they're going to form their tag team until Jesse comes back from his injury, and as well as Chris Sabin. Match number 3. Tara defeated Madison Rayne. Tara brought out a present for Madison and sat in the corner of the ring. It was kind of a normal knockout match. Rain threw Tara into the steps and snuck into the ring and opened the present. It was a tarantula. She got scared and Tara hit the widow's peak for the win. Then chased Madison all the way to the back holding the tarantula. Kurt Angle cuts a promo about his #1 contender status and his upcoming TNA title match at Hardcore Justice. He said he's going to kick Anderson's ass whether it is for the championship or not. And he hopes Sting wins so they can finish what they started in some previous match. Couldn't understand him since he has never beaten Sting. He talked about the main event Mafia some as well. Mex in America in match number 4 defeated the British Invasion to become the new #1 contenders to the TNA tag titles. Mexican America won when Rosita distracted the ref and they cheated. Big surprise ending here there. The entire match was pretty crappy. Hernandez ended up interfering in Anarchia pinned Magnus. Match number 5 and your main event. Sting defeated Mr. Anderson to win the TNA title. Pretty entertaining match overall. Mr. Anderson pushed Sting in a Scorpion Death Lock. Sting hit the mic check on Anderson. And referee got knocked out of the ring as usual in TNA. Bully Ray came down and interfered. Lights went out and one of the clowns was in the ring. The clown proceeded to hit Ray and Anderson with a bat. Lights went out and the clown disappeared. Ray was nowhere to be found and Sting hit the Scorpion Death Drop on Anderson. Ref crawled back in the ring and counted to 3. New TNA or Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Champion is Sting. Wow, what an Impact taping. Sting celebrated for a few minutes on the ring as Impact taping was over. And they taped TNA Internet show Explosion taping. Hadn't done that in a while. Alex Shelley beat the Pope in an Explosion Championship Challenge. I feel like I should expect better from these two. This match was flat and the crowd didn't care. Devon came out after Pope was talking to his kids and watched the rest of the match. Shelley beat Pope with a clean pinfall, then came back in the ring and shook his hand. Apparently Pope is making a face turn as he is kissing everyone's ass lately. Anyway, that's the anticlimactic finish. They had pre-sold tickets to get your picture taken with Brian Kendrick in the ring, but VIPs had an autograph date with Velvet Sky, who was much more desirable to pose with than Kendrick. As a special added feature, Austin Aries was also on hand to sign and take pics. Another good night for Impact Wrestling, and that injures wrestling. Results for this week and the airing of Thursday's July 14th show.